5, 4, 3. Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Live. I am DJ Anthony here in Jersey. That is Magnus, PhD in Cali.
Hey
Best
guys.
Christmas ever. Today's show and Christmas traditions. So this is the holiday show. Don't forget, we're not giving any advice. We're just two friends talking. Always check with healthcare professionals. All right, Magnus. In your life, up
Yeah.
until this moment, what has been your best Christmas ever?
So best
Oh, yeah.
Christmas. Okay, best Christmas ever. I'm fortunate to have basically all my Christmases are great. To be honest.
You're running
Uh,
fire now. Okay.
yeah, but I think the one that really pops into my head. I think I was. It was the year that I was 7 years old, and everything was set up. We had a bunch of snow. It was cold, and I got like one of the biggest package like Christmas gifts you can ever think of, and in it I received. So we there's basically like a sled, but like it's called a snow racer in Sweden. It's always been called
Yeah,
a
yeah,
snow racer. So you have like the steering wheel. It has so you can go like downhill and go crazy with those. So I remember I was so excited, but I was not allowed to go out, and because we had a little bit of a like a slope, a small hill on our on the house we were living at, but I wasn't allowed to get out because it was cold and dark and things like that. My mom like refused. So I did the next best thing. So I brought the snow racer downstairs and was basically sliding it back and forth on our no not like on a carpet. So it didn't ruin anything, but it was like I was super super excited. And of course I woke up fairly early, like my mom basically forced breakfast into my face,
yeah.
and then I was like needed to get out and get going.
Wow. Okay. So 7 years old. Yeah, for me it was a little older. I was almost double that age. I was probably 13 when I was 12 years old in seventh grade. No, yeah, 12 years old in seventh grade. And it wasn't a particular gift or anything like that, but it was just, when you're 12 years old, you're not a baby anymore, but you're not an adult. So it was a nice time in my life because I didn't have any real obligation. You're a kid, you have no
Yeah.
obligations. And it was just have fun. Don't, I you know, you're a kid, but I wasn't a baby, right? So I was able to kind of like go to the mall by myself with my friends. It was the 1980s and kind of have some freedoms and not have to worry about anything. I mean, uh, yeah, there was really no stress, and I was still in that kid mode in the sense of like I wasn't fully into girls yet. I was still, you're in that twilight where
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
clicking baseball cards and still talking about sports, and you might think a girl is cute, but you're not really. It's not like you're 17 and it's like, or you're in your 20s, like, oh, I gotta have a girlfriend. You're still kind of a kid, so there was no pressures on me. It was just all have fun, be with your friends, don't worry about how you look. You don't have to comb your hair if you don't want. So it was a nice time in my life. My grandparents were still alive. My family, my extended family was still together. And so that would be the best Christmas is 1986 or 87, 12 years old. And just, also I probably had a little job too here and there where I can make a little money so I can go out buy gifts for people. So, it was at twilight where you're learning how to be, an older
Yeah,
kid.
in between, you're like I said, you're still kind of enjoy the perks of being a kid,
Yeah,
and you're slowly starting to like kind of peek into adulthood.
right. So that was probably my best Christmas was the
Yeah.
1987. Although I've had, like you said, I've had many great Christmases. But I will say this, Magnus. Well, you and I are in different. We have different lives a little bit in the sense of like you're married. I'm not. I don't. I'm not crying. I just, I'm single. And so for me, the past couple Christmases have been nice, but and like I said, I'm grateful for my family and stuff. However, yeah, the past couple Christmases have been a little bit more, I guess, tapped down, so to
Yeah.
speak. It hasn't been as festive in my personal life. I'm a DJ, of course, like I'm always partying, but I'm working. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I tend to like big Christmases and friends and family. And I don't really, like I said, a lot of my relatives have passed away or moved away, so those days are probably gone. But and I was talking to my friend. You probably saw the clip or the show about the Italian Christmases
Yeah.
growing up, and that's we'll segue into that now. So like Christmases in your culture in this what do you call it, Swedish, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Swedish Christmas.
So like, and we touched on this I think a couple shows ago. Me and my guest, my special guest Rico, about Italian Christmases. So Italian Christmases, well, at least for me, were very, when I was a kid, very loud. You know, 20 people packed into a house, yelling and laughing, and just 10 conversations going on, and just whatever, a lot going on, and a lot of theater and action and adventure, kind of, so to speak. What about you growing up in the Swedish culture? Like, when, I don't know, was it loud and boisterous, or no, was it more
Oh,
quiet?
it depends from family to family. So let me kind of tell you like the broad traditions that we have. So we kind of go through that, and then we can go in a little bit more specifically on my family.
Yeah.
So to start out with, we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, so the 24th.
Well, so
That's
by the way, so do Italians. Christmas Day,
Yep.
it really doesn't matter. It's Christmas Eve, guys. That's good.
Yeah. So we usually start like somewhat early, like you have breakfast, things like that. But you usually at your own house or your family house. Like, you don't have a bunch of people coming over yet. That's kind of later on during the day. Prep, there's a lot of food going on. Something called julbord. It's very similar to a smorgasbord, like a buffet. So we have, like, of course, we have the traditional ham. We usually have a big piece of ham. Meatballs are always going to be involved. A ton of different herrings and salmon. So fish goes in there. Then some like tiny sausages. Also some other types of sausages. So there's a lot of, and of course, potatoes and we have beet salad and things like that. So
Right.
Traditionally, a lot of food goes around it. Of course, we have our schnapps, the nubbe, so people drink some alcohol with it if they want to. We have a specific Christmas beer, and we have something called must. It's very unique for Sweden. It's only, they only sell it during Christmas and Easter, but it's still one of the biggest like soft drinks. And it's just over Christmas time. It has a little bit like a combination of Coca-Cola and, I would say, Dr. Pepper / Roof beers.
So, in Sweden, do people have like the shopping culture like America, where everyone is right now as we speak shopping their asses off? And
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Unfortunately,
people are materialistic in Sweden.
Of course. I mean, Christmas gifts are definitely important. I would say
now it's not like that in every country, because in Italy, it's really kind of not like that. It's people shop in Italy. I'm not saying they don't, but it's more about like, oh, here, I bought you some oranges, or like it's, so Sweden is more like America, you're saying?
Yes, yeah. And we don't get our Christmas gifts in the morning. We have to wait like until like afternoon or evening, depending on like the families, like, but that's kind of more like the traditional style of doing it. So and then at 3 p.m. we have basically Donald Duck and Friends celebrates Christmas. So it's Disney. It's a Disney show that has been shown on Swedish TV since, I think, like around 58. So late 50s, and basically gone through. Yeah. So it's traditional, and it is. It's Jeremy Cricket is actually like the host, and Mickey Mouse and Tinkerbell. So they have and this is kind of the most shown or most seen TV show throughout the year, that basically everybody has it on. You might not be seeing it, but it's in the background.
Yeah.
So that goes, and then we have like traditional like Christmas movies that goes through like basically every single year that is on TV.
Yeah, America.
and then usually like you light a fire. You might have some glögg, which is a glue wine, or some people also have eggnog, things like that. You sitting down, chill out, hands out the presents, and that's about it.
Oh, but Christmas Day. So, do you guys do anything on Christmas Day or no?
We basically eat leftovers and chill out and eat candy. And if you're a kid, you play with your new toys. And like, you should try to go out maybe when the sun is up. Like the sun is limited. Sunrise is around 8 o'clock, and then sundown is around 3. So you only have that kind of 7 hours. That, like, if you want to do something, you kind of head out, and kids go out and play if there's snow, and we usually go out and walk our dogs and so on. So looking at it growing up, my Christmases was a little bit different because my grandpa on my mom's side, that was his birthday. So the first thing we did was basically around noonish, we went to my grandparents' place, and we were celebrating his birthday. So Christmas, with no Christmas songs, no Christmas wrapping, which is kind of complex, trying to give him like, birthday gifts that were not wrapped in Christmas wrapping and things like that. And then we usually had cake and coffee and all those things. Then packed up, head home, watch Donald Duck, things like that. Either we were at our house, or we might head over to my grandparents, my grandma on my dad's side. And then, since my dad was in the restaurant business, he was so fed up with Christmas food. So we basically ate something completely untraditional. Like, it could be like the weirdest things, like filet mignon, or like we had some like special fish, and so it was pretty funny because it was like it was pretty different, but it was our Christmas.
Yeah, well,
and growing up, once we got a little bit older, especially with like me and my sister, kind of had our own places and things like that. We usually try to meet our dad in the morning at one of our similar department store, like a big Nordstrom, Macy's, something like that.
Is your sister still in Sweden?
Yes, yeah. So me, my sister, my dad usually spend like a couple of hours and like buying some Christmas gift if we hadn't get them. But we noticed, like, the more years we did it, more and more people start to mimic that, and because they noticed there was like basically no people out, so you don't have to stand in line to pay everything and whatnot. So it was easier. Then even when my parents were divorced, we always met up. Like, it was my sister, I, and mom and dad, and still, like, had Christmas together. We met
That's
up like
nice.
at mom's or wherever, and then we basically split up and head home. So I mean, I remember, like,
your father would be there with your mother to celebrate.
Yeah, no, they after the divorce, after a couple of years, they managed to be in the same room, good friends and things like that. So it was actually like really, really nice. We always spend holidays together, even as like with divorced parents. So
yeah.
So,
we had very similar to what you're saying. I mean, right. Christmas Eve's the big one. Christmas Day, we all kind of just eat and chill out. There's no real, rush to do anything. For us, Christmas Day was about lasagna, and more. Yeah, like, I think, it seems similar what you're saying. I think a lot of people say the same thing. It's Christmas Eve is the big thing, and then Christmas Day everyone just chills out, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a Thanksgiving type of vibe in America. It's just kind of like, you eat and you watch football or watch movies or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Call me a Grinch, and again, maybe because I'm in the entertainment business, but about now I'm getting sick already of Christmas. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, let's just get it done. I don't know. Call me a Grinch, but I tend to, around this time, and this is only recently as an adult. When I was younger, it wasn't like this, but I don't know, maybe because I'm in the business, but I'm like, all right, I'm sick.
I think I think you get exposed to it so hard, and it's like basically celebrating Christmas on repeat. You feel like you're a little bit like, like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, Christmas
Yeah.
again,
Because if
Christmas
I was
again.
an accountant working in an office or something like that, I probably would, like the Christmas season more. And don't get me wrong, like I also think in America, I was just thinking this to myself. I don't know about you, but growing up and as a child, I don't remember Christmas starting on October 31st, right after Halloween.
No.
It seemed like Christmas started, December 10th, maybe 15th, even early December. There was no real Christmas. It was about midway through December 10th or 15th where there was like the heavy Christmas rush of,
Yeah.
of decorating and music and this and that. And now it just seems like, bro, November 1st, fucking boom, Christmas. And I think for me, I don't know, some people like that, but I think it almost cheapens Christmas a little bit. It's just,
I think it's get diluted for sure. I mean, the worst I've seen is like even in October, I've been into certain places in the States when they start doing the decoration, and I'm like, well, this is kind of ridiculous.
right.
And I think it leads to that we're focusing on the wrong things, and that is just like the gift buying
Well,
and
that's
giving.
another problem. Yeah. And I think that again, Christmas is almost 2 month season now, 2.5 months.
Yeah.
And I just, I remember talking to some old people and they said to me, like, oh no, we wouldn't put a Christmas tree up until like December 24th or December 23rd. Now it's like, bro, fucking people got Christmas trees up, again, November 1st. And I don't know. I mean, it's a quality versus quantity thing. Like, I think I might be better off maybe next year. Just like I just put up my decorations on December 1st. Maybe I'll wait. But yeah, so I'm a little Christmased out at this point, and I don't know.
You're like my dad. Like he said the same thing. Like especially like being in the restaurant business, you get invited to all these kind of buffets, and it's like it's constant eating for a whole month.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, I completely understand that. A question: do you guys celebrate Advent? So that
Well,
like
yeah.
before
So
Advent's
yeah.
leading
Well,
up
if
to
you're Catholic,
Christmas.
yeah. So Catholics do. I mean, I was born and
Yeah.
raised Catholic. Yeah.
We do in Sweden as well. That's
I
why I
wouldn't say
asked.
so. Well, I wouldn't say celebrate, but we do acknowledge it. Why
Yeah.
you're saying that you guys actually party and shit?
No, party. It's basically you. So
Observe.
we have this like Advent
Yeah.
like light. So
Yeah,
it has
the 4
like
candles every week.
and then you light it every
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like tilted. Yeah. No. So I just wanted to know this. We do that as well.
Yeah.
But like for instance, the same thing with my family. We always brought in the Christmas tree on the 23rd. And then we had it over. And then in Sweden, or less traditionally, it used to be like you just brought it in just for Christmas. And then it was, I think it was usually like we have something when like it's kind of a party when you throw out the Christmas tree. So that was usually on the 13th of January. So we have like traditionally used to have the tree over like New Year's and basically 2 weeks into the new year. So now most people either they start early, like you said, and then once Christmas is over, everything gets packed away, or they usually do it up until the 6th of January, which is a holiday for us in Sweden. And that's another thing in Sweden. So we're off Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. So we celebrate all those three. So our Christmas is 3 days long.
Yeah, I always hear of Boxing Day, but what the hell is it?
Like Boxing Day, it's like for us, it's like
actual paper boxes or boxes punching.
No, but I don't know where like I don't know where it's for me. It's in Swedish. It's annandag jul. It's basically the second day of Christmas. So that's so Boxing Day. I think it's a British term, and to be honest, I don't even know why it's named that way.
In Sweden, do you guys have like parties with friends and stuff and office parties prior to Christmas?
Yes, and then basically on Christmas Day, that is also a huge like tradition to actually go out with friends, because you're with friends. No, you're with family on Christmas Eve, and then you just need a break. So a lot of people, they go like if they if they moved somewhere when they get out of college and things like that to work or whatever, they usually pivot back and goes back to like where like the big part of their family lives and things like that. And then you have basically like a reunion parties. Like you go out if like
That's
to the
that's
local.
like Thanksgiving Eve here in America.
Yeah, so that has a lot of similarities to it. Like you go out like Christmas Eve, then you kind of recover on Boxing Day then. And again, most people take the week in between Christmas and New Year's off. So we're off until like after New Year's. So a lot of people, especially if you have an office job or anything like that, you boom out, like no one shows up for work.
Yeah,
and it's kind of
America.
It's kind of nice, like actually going to work those days because you
quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet, and the few that are there, you kind of celebrate Christmas. You and you get a ton of things done because it's empty.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I've noticed too, of late, a trend in America is for the past maybe like 15, 20 years is, so Christmas Day as a child and a teenager for me, everything was shut. Nothing was open. But now, Christmas Day, people go out to bars, restaurants, and movie theaters and stuff. So I can see that that's becoming more. And I also notice, because I'm doing this too, that a lot of people, even for Christmas Eve now, go out to dinner at restaurants. And even my family does this.
Yeah.
But like 20, 30 years ago, nobody went out for Christmas Eve. Everybody stayed home.
No, I think a lot of like restaurant owners and like they saw that there was a kind of a big demand of it because no one wanted to really like cook and do the dishes and things like that. So I mean, like if you have a restaurant and kind of like and you can go out with it such a long time, and it's like it's a little bit like, I would say, Valentine's Day or New Year's. If you go out, you basically like, okay, this is what you get. Like, here's the menu. This is what you get. We're not having a la carte or anything like that. We might have some things on the a la carte, depends on the restaurant. And then you can take out quite a good chunk of money because people are willing to pay for it.
Right. Yeah, I know we're going out Christmas Eve to a restaurant, and I like going out. It has its pros, but I also don't like going out. I mean, if I have my way, I mean, I could host something, but I guess to your I just hate hosting. So, but I like going to other people's homes. So that whatever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like especially once I got into college, and as you know that I spent a lot of years in college because I stayed for masters and PhD programs and everything. So especially when I was doing my bachelor and my masters, we usually had like a end of course exam or a final just before Christmas. So the last thing on my mind was Christmas up until it was usually like a day or two before Christmas Eve. And then because the only thing that I was focusing on is just passing my courses, right? So I remember that was kind of like, and then you're trying to catch up with that Christmas spirit that a lot of people have done for like 2 or 3 weeks or even longer. And then you're like, so I remember like it was kind of hard for me to get into the Christmas spirit. And if you did not pass exam, you usually had a new exam just after New Year. So you basically, like, if you were lucky, if you kind of messed up and you had to, or like if you just like divided the different exams into, or tests into like different periods, you basically have to study over the rest of news. So but like looking at it, those are the things like coming again, like delayed gratification. I mean, that kind of gives you time later on in life to be able to take time off and celebrate it. And like now with how we celebrated Christmas here, since my wife's family is from Mexico originally, so we celebrate Christmas Eve. We do that, and then we get up in the morning and give out gifts on Christmas morning.
That's cool.
And then so it's basically her parents are staying with us now, So they're gonna stay. So yeah, they got here this week, and so they're staying with us all the way through Christmas, and then
Her
we'll see
parents
if they.
do they speak English?
Not 100% fluent, but it's okay because like I know enough Spanish to like we communicate in a fun way. We communicate in English, Spanish, and sometimes even Swedish, because some of the times if I say something in Swedish, it's like it could be very similar in Spanish, or just the kind of the idea. So it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's just it is what it is, you know. We're trying to make the best out of it. So yeah, no, so that's pretty. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is, like now as an adult, I do not care too much about the gifts. I just want to have a peaceful time, be able to rest up, not stress around, and also catch up on things around the house, hang out with her parents, call my mom and sister, talk to them during Christmas, because that's a good thing. It's like they're 9 hours ahead of me, so I can talk to them when they're having dinner, and you know, like they send me pictures and we talk and things like that. And then when they go to bed, then I have all the time in the world to hang
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
with yeah. So that's another thing. That's one of my traditions I always do now. Is actually always, you know, always talking to my mom and my sister, and they're usually out in our family cabin, like about an hour and a half out of Stockholm in the
Okay.
archipelago. And it's like winters there. It's like it's really cool. Like hopefully it snows so they have a white Christmas, and then we have our Christmas tree, and then we have a lot of fireplaces. So we make it like super cozy. And you know, with a fireplace, you fall asleep straight away.
Oh, of course. I've had. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eat some food, and then you're knocked out. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
TV's on the background, and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And now, to be honest, it's kind of funny. Oops, there goes my Christmas hat. No, so we have a fireplace, but we never used it. But like we've been living in the house now for 2 years, and this was the first day we actually started out the fireplace in the
Yeah.
house.
I used
And
to have a fireplace here. Long story short, it was a real fire, but it wasn't attached to the house. It was one of these like it wasn't fake fire. It was real fire, but it was
yeah,
kind of like anyways, it was real fire. But yeah, I love a fireplace too. And then, you know, in America, it's popular. A lot of my friends will put the a video of a fireplace on their television for Christmas, which is kind of cool. And I do that too sometimes.
yeah. No,
But
that's my dad bought my mom that on a VHS tape, because she wanted to open fireplace to one of the houses that when they after the divorce. So that wasn't the most like super popular. Like my dad and me and my sister thought it was pretty funny. My mom didn't kind of enjoy that joke, but
uh,
it yeah. But like again, is that we had fireplace out in the cabin anyway, so like you could always get out and get some fire. So
yeah,
yeah, no, it's fun. So and also like yesterday we went to it's a neighborhood that light up. You know, they go all in with Christmas lighting. So we
yeah, yeah.
went there. Yeah, so we
Oh, that's
went.
cool.
Yeah, we drove down there. We walked around. We brought our dogs with us and strolled around, took some pictures. So yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah. So
Yeah,
that was yeah. Like the thing is, we and like we usually like we put up a schedule, like different things that we want to do, and then you spread them out over days, and then
yeah,
people know like, okay, this is what we're doing today, this is what we're doing ahead. So you
yeah.
always know, you can always like do some planning around it nowadays, so
Yeah.
it's pretty chill.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that you guys get to do that stuff. And me too. I'll be jumping around some friends' homes, my family, this
Yeah,
and
you
that.
should, if you're living close by, you would have definitely been invited. Just
Oh,
stop
thanks.
by, just
Hey,
hang out.
hey. Thank you very much. And same here. And it's funny. I was just talking to my friend Rico about the Christmas Italian traditions on a show yesterday, and he lives near you. And he's like, "Oh, you got to come out." And I told him about you. I said, "Well, there's a guy named Magnus." And I go, "So yeah, trust me. And I will go to California. And when I do, I'll see you. I'll see Rico." So I have
Oh,
a
where's he located at?
he lives. He didn't say the exact town, but he said he lives like I guess south of Los Angeles.
Yeah, okay, then yes, towards San Diego. No, I mean like yeah, that's basically like down towards Oceanside and all that probably. So yeah, no, that's really close to us. That's like 30 minutes away 30-minute
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. So and for me, like that, yeah, like I said, definitely it's on my hit list to come to.
Yeah, like with like Wellness Week, we need to do that. Like we should like you need to do a road tour, like coming out to Cali and
Bro, trust
like
me,
do a bunch of recordings over here.
100%. Not if, but when I do come,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, it'll probably be when I do, it'd be more like spring or summer or something like that, because I don't really like traveling in the dead of winter because of flight delays and all that crap. But
yeah, no, it's funny that you mentioned it. Carly, she was over at the conference in Baltimore last weekend, and they got stuck. So she got delayed around 24 hours.
Woo.
So
yeah,
no, it kind of blew, because like she was just stuck there and she couldn't really do anything. She knew that they were not able to go. Then she was like, well, I would have gone into Baltimore and go to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum and things like that. She's really into that. So
that's cool.
unfortunately that did not happen. And that's the main thing that traveling around like winter and holidays,
Yeah.
getting caught. You can, we don't have, you have to wait like 2 days until we got an opening. It's like, no, you better get me home ASAP.
Yeah, I can't, bro. But yeah, no, awesome, man. Yeah, and I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, and enjoy. You guys work hard, kick back, drink some eggnog, relax, and it sounds like you guys and the doggies will have a joyous Christmas.
Yeah, no, the dogs are probably the two individuals in our home that has the best, because now they have 4 people to lay upon.
That's
so
right.
yes, no, and they love their grandparents, which is it's my in-laws. So they know it's so
no, that's awesome.
it's fun. Yeah, and
awesome.
and you have Rocky, and at least like and I know like Anthony, it's like it's the same thing. Like and everybody that is watching this and they feel lonely over Christmas. I know that this sometimes it's like the holidays actually sucks.
Yeah.
Because I've been in your shoes too,
Of
you know,
course.
like it's but it's again, just take it as any other.
You gotta make, and you have to make you have to be proactive about getting out. You can't say to yourself, I don't feel like getting out, but then that's going to make you more upset. It's an action, not a feeling. So get your ass out. I make sure I go to parties. I make sure that I'm going out with friends and family. So I know for me, I've been, and I think all of us at some point in our lives, right? We've had a lonely holiday, whether it be Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving or Easter or whatever, Valentine's Day. So, we've all been there before, but my advice also to people would be like, volunteer, make it more
about someone else than yourself. Yeah.
Right. Don't make it about me. So yeah, I mean, my Christmas this year will be great. I mean, I'm going to see my family and friends and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, obviously I could sit there and look at what I don't have, but I'm not going to do that. So,
but that's something that we should never do. Like even the rest of the 364 days of the year, it's like, do not focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you have.
Yeah, 100%.
Always focus on what you have. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable.
That's the trick. And I think a lot of people get miserable for the holidays because they see people laughing and loving and families and friends and girlfriends and boyfriends and yes, but look at what you have, folks. And trust me, I've been there. I've spent a few holidays by myself, and in a way it was sad, but in a way it's kind of nice too. I think you know what,
I think you learn a lot about yourself by being alone on like a holiday, like Christmas and things like that as well.
And there's a lot you can do by being alone that you can really kind of focus, because this shall pass too, and there'll be holidays where you're not alone or lonely. And by the way, it's tricky because you could be at a party and party all day long on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but you can still feel lonely. Yeah. Magnus, some of my loneliest holidays were when I was with someone. Yeah. So it's really tricky, So like, I know this holiday, oddly enough, I don't feel lonely, but I am single. And there's been times where I've had someone and I felt more lonely than I did when I was. So it's a tricky world out there, folks.
Yeah. Well, like looking at it from another perspective too, before we finish off here, it's like a lot of people have miserable Christmases with their family and friends.
Yeah.
You know, there's fighting going
Oh my
on.
God.
There's abuse of alcohol, there's
Yeah.
physical abuse, there's
Yeah.
mental abuse. There's
Yeah.
so many things that goes on that does not get brought up to the surface. That
Yeah.
stuff people just push down and trying to like not see. But a lot of people, it's the same thing. We have a lot of kids that don't get like Christmas gift, they don't get any Christmas food, they don't have a tree, they don't have anything.
Yeah, thank God for
So looking at it like people need to understand that there's always someone having it worse than themselves
yeah,
too,
and
you
be
know.
great and want what you have. Be grateful you have. You have a house or a place, a roof over your head. You have food.
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
safety. You know, like there's really so much to be, grateful for in this time of giving. So, again, folks, we have the power to
Yes. One thing that I want to add to this, and this is a trick that I want people to understand, because like it's easy to get into start discussing things that we don't want to discuss or things that we don't like talking about and so on. So one thing, like, don't get upset. Just try to steer the conversation away from
Oh
those
yeah,
topics. You know, like bring something else up when someone's
yeah. Or
brings
walk
things.
to another room,
Yes, or say that you have to go to the bathroom, or have to go get something to drink, or
or
that
go
you have
late
to
to the
make a
party,
phone
or leave
call.
the party early.
Yeah, like do not get into these, because it's the same thing. Like you know that certain topics are gonna bring you down. So
Right.
why even talk about it? It's the same thing. Like just because a person is a family member doesn't mean that you have to fall into those
Try.
old patterns and or topics. And wait, just like enjoy it, try to move
Have
on.
a plan in your mind.
Yeah, always have a side thing, like or like have a picture in your pocket or something fun, like do a magic trick or whatnot, just to kind of break the ice and move the conversation into something that is
Hey, listen,
more jolly.
trust me, I'm going to be around people this holiday that piss me off, actually,
Yeah.
and I practice in my mind what I'm going to not say or what I will say.
Yep.
I speak from probably hundreds of millions of people all over the world that are going to be in a similar spot where it's like, oh, this particular person or friend or family or whatever, you just you gotta just shut your mouth. It's not worth it. It's one day or one session, and
Yep.
go to the next room or pretend you're on your phone, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, or role play in your head ahead of time. How are you going to say, okay, well, thank you. Nice. Whatever. Keep it moving, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, Magnus, that's all I got. Anything else before we wrap up, buddy?
Yeah, stay safe. Again, I always say this around the holidays too. Don't drink and drive. We do not need
Uber.
to have people either kill other people, get injured, hurt themselves, or whatnot. Like, so please, there's designated drivers, Uber. Like, do not get in like behind the wheels and start driving when you've been drinking, please.
Yeah, very good, bro. Very good. Well, Magnus, Merry Christmas, bro.
Merry Christmas, Anthony.
Yeah, my man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, appreciate you too. And we'll reconvene. Don't forget, folks, like, subscribe, and we're probably going to squeeze a show in after Christmas,
Yes.
before the New Year. But anyways, very good. All right, Magnus, and give my best to your family.
As you as well. Stay safe.
Thanks, buddy. I'm ending this 5, 4, 3.